Welcome to the episode of PRJX. We're talking tonight about social media. Welcome back, Alex, tonight.
Thank you very much.
It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
Too long.
We have a big topic
Always too
tonight, social media. And we'll talk about how big it is, how small it is, what do you like it, what do we hate it, is it good, what does it do in the business world, and we want to see your statistics, talk about all the types of social media. So
Plenty of statistics.
plenty of statistics you've been up to.
Yeah.
Facebook, the Big Four, we go all into it. But
So I'd say before we get into it, what social medias do you use currently?
Oh yeah, I don't really. I usually use Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, the generic ones that
Big
anyone
Four,
should have. I don't really use I don't know. I just recently used Twitter, but many people use Twitter. I never really liked Twitter, but I just.
What didn't you like about it?
I don't know. It feels really weird. I never liked it. I've seen it like when it came out in like a long time ago, but I never really liked it. I've never vibed the Twitter vibe of like retweeting. Facebook was just like, Facebook was where I started my childhood, and that's where it started, you know.
See, I'd probably say I'm kind of different now. Like most people, I started off on Facebook.
Really?
Probably like 2011 when I got into it. But now you kind of get to this part of your life. I don't have Instagram, but Twitter is what I live on at this point. It's the only one of the big four that I regularly use. But that's mainly because like on Twitter, there's like so much stuff going on Twitter all at once.
What do you like about it? What's interesting for you as Alex on Twitter? Like
as Alex, so
what brings
obviously you have
Twitter?
like the trends section and whatnot, and that garners a lot of people in because they tailor trends towards you, which is a very targeted kind of algorithmic thing they do. They look at your previous content that you overview and then target trends to you based off of that. I'm mainly in it because I like watching arguments and people shit talk each other, and it's all it can blow up sometimes. You see, well, you not only see like celebrities go at each other,
Really?
politicians.
I assume you'd have to follow a lot of people to get into this. Like you have to follow like maybe 50, 60, 100 people, 600 people.
The thing is, you don't really need to follow like the big people to
understand everything. You don't need
the people that you follow, like even if it's just your close friends, you monitor or not monitor, but like you can see their activity through the app. So they retweet something, they like something, it will tell you that. If they've liked, I don't know, someone calling out Trump's haircut and his orange skin and whatnot, you can then see that they've liked that, retweeted it, and then in turn, that's how it kind of shares it around.
Do you think Twitter is like it's nice, it's good? Is it better than your perspective? Do you think it's the best social media platform? Like
no, I wouldn't say best because
is it more attractive to people? Like what do
you
like
I think
Twitter?
It's the most fun for me.
Fun?
Twitter. If to be honest,
it's just because of that bird of the Twitter, is it?
No, well, it's mainly the same reason people get fun and entertainment out of like YouTube because. If you want a short burst of entertainment from YouTube, you go on, you watch a short video from your favorite creator. On Twitter, if I want some like short entertainment, I would just load up and see someone talk about how they were walking along and dropped their coffee on their foot, and then someone slipped in it and then broke their arm and had to go to A&E. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Oh, that's what I do on Facebook as well, to be honest.
Yeah, in terms of if I think it's the best thing, like I don't know, it's what I'd use most, but
you think it's more engaging? Like, would you consider it more engaging to Facebook and Instagram? Like, because you see Instagram these days, maybe, I don't know if you have Instagram or not, but like Instagram is the game for like pictures and videos and like, it's getting it to just a snappy, straightforward, people think about it just like.
I think it's all different like demographics of people. Facebook, Facebook is Facebook.
Facebook is Facebook.
I've almost deleted it several times now. I just can't really stand it. The main reason is to keep up like group pages and whatnot and keep in contact with people.
Exactly.
But even then, I think apps like WhatsApp do a better job of it. I think a lot of it comes from a lack of trust for Facebook as well.
Really? So do you think would you trust Twitter more than Facebook then? Do you think?
Yeah, I'd say I trust Twitter more than Facebook.
In what sense? Like, what do you think why should I trust Twitter? Like,
because, I mean, you see a lot of stuff in the news, particularly what we'll talk about later, in how Facebook has gotten to the point where it's a superpower almost of a company similar to Amazon. They have such a collection of data on people, and then it gets released on media that this data is going to Russian sites, it's going to
Right.
US government, it's going to even some parts of UK government, China.
Isn't
And-
it like crazy? Like you look at it now, as you're just saying, like, it's Facebook. We consider it. You may say it as it's a superpower. It's a country of its own. Don't you think like the
That's-
evolution of it changing, like from where it's just been? It's been in Harvard in 2004.
That's an interesting
Now
way to,
it's-
to phrase it. Do you think it's becoming a country of its own? Because if Facebook were to be a country, it's got currently 3.2 billion users.
It can surpass some countries today.
It surpasses every country today if it were to be a country in its own. Because
Sounds
obviously
like-
China, just under 2 billion people, then India as well, just under
yeah.
2 billion. If it
think we
were
can
to be
get
a
to-
country,
The nation of Facebook, you know, like it just
the nation of
Very-
Facebook,
a very
Well,
scary place to be.
yeah, that's kind of where it ties down to it being a superpower and whatnot. And I guess that's another reason why people don't trust it.
But do you think it got influenced? Like, do you think like you like Twitter a lot? Do you think
Yeah.
Twitter? Do you think Twitter changed, like, followed the paths of Facebook? Like, you don't see these days. I don't like. It take like a motivational spectrum of like, this is what Facebook is doing, and now we're trying to get to what they're doing, so we can try and compete in such way.
I
Or they
think
just do
the
their own thing.
intention of both platforms was very different to each other.
Yeah.
I think the intention of Facebook was
Just a social
So-
place in Harvard, you know, just like.
obviously you know the origin story. We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah.
But I think the intention when Facebook changed to what it was back in 2004, the intention of it was to connect people, build like a strand between each other, everyone, a place for it to get to know everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas I think with the conception of Twitter,
It just.
the intention of it was not necessarily to like connect people, but
Inform people in such way of.
yeah, Twitter's much more informative than Facebook is.
Sure.
But while I say that's their intention, it's absolutely not what they've gone down to now. like I say, you look on
Yeah.
Twitter, it's just a haven for like shit posting at this point.
Exactly. No, I feel like most of the social media platforms, they had something they intended to do in the beginning when they started out, and they've totally changed when you come and look at them today. Like they've just changed how.
Absolutely, and I think that's
This.
a symptom of the users going on. So the companies start with obviously their intention for
For what they want to do, whether it's.
but then when the users come on,
And then just
they
change
they
it, they
don't
just leave
follow
it.
that, and then they adapt it more to what the users want. I think that's the case with every company.
Yeah, I
You-
think they
you
just
start
leave it to
with
develop and see where it goes.
Yeah, I think you start with an intention for the brand
Yeah.
and whatnot, and then
A strategy or something.
after, well, it depends on if the growth is exponential or gradual, but their strategies for that point to make it grow are to tailor it to the funneled demographic that are kind of taking over the consumer base, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No,
I
no,
think
no,
that's
no,
why
no,
they've
no.
adapted it so
No,
much.
it's of course. Well, don't you see, like, I don't know, it's very interesting. I was just looking earlier, like, how, like, Facebook has grown to this platform of having 1 billion users a day or such things. Like, you're
Well,
looking
3.2 logged users,
yeah,
which
like,
is actually 42%
And it just
of the
launched-
population.
yeah, and it just launched in 2004. Like, looking just on the data and what this looks at, it's just crazy on that how much people, even if you have a preference like Twitter, Instagram, but having this big thing just starting 1 billion people. At one point they had, like, I was looking at today Facebook 7 billion 7 billion such things of content were being shared on Facebook.
Yeah.
That just blew my mind.
It's like 7 billion individual
that's
pieces of
people,
data.
yeah. Like, imagine just having a
It's
platform
collapse.
sharing it.
It's mental, just to even conceive. Like, do you know how big a billion is?
A billion. It can go.
It's
It's almost the size of India and China, you know.
well, like I said, the population was just under 2 billion, but a billion as a number is incomprehensible almost. And then you get into the statistics of trillions. It's just not
Like,
fathomable.
when you look at ratings, would you rate like if you had 1 to 4, or like the 4 main ones before we get into the other branches of social media? We've been getting into other elements, but like if you'd rate them, where would you like rate Facebook, Twitter, Instagram?
Oh, like on
Snapchat?
like a chart
Yeah, like
or
on
a league
chart.
table.
Where it's like if you would put them like, not based on preferability, but would you think has more engagement? Just based on what Alex thinks, just like
just based on what I think
Not
in
the,
terms of engagement.
like it's
So
you think, like no bias. Like I know you
no,
prefer Twitter, but
I'm
like,
I'm just wondering.
like I only have Facebook just because I have to be in touch with uni people from the university and family.
I think in terms of engagement, Facebook is a lot more it's more middle-aged people are getting more engaged. Whereas during kind of when we were growing up, it was the big thing. It was absolutely our kind of
It's like,
demographic.
yeah, when you have
When we were younger, I
Like
think
it's-
now other social media platforms are doing that job better, which is why the demographic
People
or
are
the target
shifting.
audience, I think the target audience switched to,
shifted, yeah.
I think it shifted from, say, 16 to 24-year-olds to maybe
Mid-age.
32 to 48-year-olds. And I think that is the predominant
People in
area
their middle
Facebook
age,
target.
people that are living their middle life now, that are in part of their middle
Yeah.
element of life. They're just
The thing
focusing.
is, as well, especially in the US, Facebook is still a market leader,
Of
like-
course.
like it has been for so long. The 68% of adults in the US
That's
are logged
crazy.
on Facebook,
That's crazy.
which is, well, from that stat, about 2/3 of adults in the US are logged on Facebook. Why do you think that is? Why do you
It's
think
just-
it's so like expanded so
I think
greatly?
when you look at it starting in 2004 to what we see today, it's backing to that point of you're saying like connectivity, being connected, and it's that point when you see as well, like when we were growing up, it's that thing when you're like, you don't have Facebook, well, you look like an idiot when you don't have it. You have to have like, you're not part of this
Definitely.
group of
You
not
get-
having.
Some kids get bullied for not having
Yeah,
it.
and if you don't have a Facebook, you can't be part of our social group.
I still get flat because I don't have Instagram.
Yeah,
it
it's
just
like-
puts me off getting it
it's like-
further.
It's like, wait,
I
you're
don't want to be
missing.
stalked by
No,
government.
you're like you're missing out of what's happening and all that. If I felt
Yeah.
it was the start of like the word of mouth, especially when the internet started to blow up. People were like, oh look, Alex has Facebook, George has Facebook, this has Facebook. They have a group chat, they do this, and then they started. And then what Facebook really did really well was that they had this idea of putting as well games on it. So people were like,
Facebook gaming.
yeah. So it had like
Yeah.
Pet Society, it had Zynga Poker, it had all these other elements.
I've still
which-
got my Farmville account.
Yeah, see, like these things were like, I think they went to segment the other age groups, which
Yeah.
may not like, maybe kids even use these games from their parents' accounts. Like kids didn't really care because they just went around and running away. But when they saw like Pet Society, Farmville, Yeovil, all these other games, they're like, wow,
Yeovil.
there's other things that they're really interested
Down
in.
there where I live.
And then it was, it was just like the part of community. People thought it was, that's where like the cool kids were or the cool element was. And now we
Right.
see, and now at this stage, it's like, if Facebook is part of your day-to-day lives.
So
Well,
in,
there's-
in terms of motivation for logging on, do you think it was very much a status thing?
Yeah,
Like
I
people
thought it
saw
was a
them
status
getting-
thing.
Like,
but-
wow, that's hip.
I think that was like, that was the edge in like 2006, 2007,
Yeah.
that age. But
Okay.
now it's like, you have to have it, not because like, if I don't like it, it's because it's the only way of sometimes communicating to some people.
Yeah.
Like, because now Facebook developed Messenger, and it's that way of like, you have to have a Facebook just to get to people.
Yeah.
Whether it's promoting your business, which we'll talk about later, or going into other commercial elements of the business,
Yeah.
it's about communication, where people just had like, and it became as like you said, it's like Twitter. They have things you just watch, you follow people, and you're like, that's interesting. Oh, that's nice. People keep tagging you, even if you follow the news, you follow this. It's just all on your page, and like you have your Facebook picture, even in like not now, but before, like you have your picture. People would comment us, oh look, nice picture, congratulations. If you wanna, people today in Facebook are trying to say like a big message, or they're trying to say like, oh look at me now, I am doing this, or I'm trying to do this, or
I'm
look at
successful. What have you
I'm
done?
I'm successful. I'm leading my business. I'm
Yeah.
doing this. It's now more of a showcase. It's showcasing what you've been doing.
See, I think
So it's like-
going on from what we were talking about a minute ago with the intention versus the
Yeah.
reality, I think like I say, the intention is to connect people,
but
update people on your daily life. But now I log on to Facebook, I just see a string of 20 memes at a time,
and you
or
just-
like funny videos, and the videos are usually YouTube videos just uploaded on Facebook with more ads
yeah.
on them.
But that's the problem what I face now on Facebook. They force you to watch a video, like you're really bored and you're watching this video. Now it segments this other element,
Yeah,
and you look at the video and it has ads, and it's just really annoying.
yeah.
It's really.
That's one of my driving things to get off it, because the content on it is just so.
Sometimes it's like that's
Oh,
like backing to say like
so
the
dire.
intention. Now that Facebook is just like it's this big universe you can get lost in. Like you go in, you keep digging in,
Yeah.
and it never lasts. You can stay on. I stay on Facebook sometimes 4 hours a day. It's just like it amuses me on what you can do on it. Like
Yeah.
It's what they started is something. Now it's a global phenomenon. What Facebook is doing, everyone is on it. Say
Yeah.
Twitter, not many. Yeah, you have your people. Instagram, the same concept, but Facebook is like where it started. But before I finish this Facebook statement, it's like we have to go back to also the evolution of where Facebook started, where we look at MySpace, we look at Friendster, we look at this place called 6 Degrees. These were the fathers, as you may say, or may call them, of where social media started. Friendster, MySpace, like Facebook overtook MySpace. MySpace was the thing, the cool thing in the 90s or in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Before Facebook was this thing.
Did you ever have MySpace?
I really dreamt of having one. I've never had it. I was too young to have a MySpace.
My first one was MSN.
Oh, MSN?
Yeah, do you remember MSN Live?
Oh, this was the thing me and my friends were always on.
I
MSN,
remember
you'd
primary
always-
school during
there's
like
ping.
IT classes.
It
we
was the
would message
thing.
each other.
Yeah, that was the thing in my age group. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd go to MSN.
When I was at primary school, people used to ask out each other via MSN.
Like we'd have MSN. Like me and my friend, we'd always like go play this
Do you
game
want to go on a
called.
date? MSN.
No, we'd always
Meet you at
have
the
these
rec.
weird pictures on it and like weird ping and emoji on it, and we'd go on.
Yeah.
It was somewhere, but going back, like Facebook, it took over MySpace, and MySpace was the thing. Like I even saw it in American movies. I was like, "What is this MySpace? Is this is this something? Is it real? Is it?" I even looked, but I couldn't go in. And then it was Facebook was the loop where everyone was like, "Yes, this is the next big thing." Even
Mhm.
Mark Zuckerberg didn't expect it to explode as what it thinks it's now.
Do you think anyone expects their business to explode?
No, I don't. Unless you're very optimistic. It depends. Like you want it to be. You can be realistic or optimistic, but it's like
Yeah.
he just did it for the bands for him and his friends.
Well,
you know?
originally it was a dating
Really,
site
yeah.
in Harvard.
It was something for the
well, I
Harvard
say
community.
It wasn't nowhere near dating. It was.
I think it's just like it's connections between people in Harvard just to get
Well,
connections.
originally Mark Zuckerberg set it up as a platform so that the boys at Harvard could view the girls at Harvard and rate them based on their appearance.
Stalking ways.
Yeah, and then when word kind of got out, it's all in the film, The Social Network.
Really?
But he obviously shifts it and adapts it so everyone can kind of
See,
use
and
it
now
as
you
a
have these
platform.
things and you look at it, but Mark Zuckerberg never thought that he'd be going to courts today and being judged about what's happening
God,
with
no.
data and what's Russia doing and what's this doing, and
Being
never-
called a robot on
Oh, it's
social
like-
media.
it's all that, and introducing the chatbot. He didn't understand it to go to that element.
No.
You only may expect it. Maybe okay, we have a business, we look at it for 5 years, but but it's an empire. Facebook is an empire to learn from.
Yeah.
Anyone who's starting something such as that, I don't even think someone can evolve to near Facebook or Twitter today
Yeah.
because they boomed in another way.
Well, in terms of why Facebook has such a high engagement rate, Obelo, the source for this, they claim that the reason Facebook has such a high social media presence is because of the accessibility of mobile phones now.
Yeah, they say like
Everyone's got a phone, and Facebook is always at the top of the App Store.
it's simple, it's quick.
People, it's Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp
Are they-
are the three at the top.
Yeah,
They
and they're all owned by the same person.
exactly.
Very scary world.
It's because everyone's got a mobile phone at this point. You see children as young as 11 having mobile phones,
It's scary
well.
yeah,
and once you're on a mobile phone, essentially you're on social media at that point.
that is
And the thing is as well,
simple as that.
because it's so easy to access them on a mobile phone, the companies, Facebook, as well as Snapchat, Instagram
Everything.
and Twitter, they target their social media networks so that they're optimized to be used on mobile as opposed to computer. Like if you go on Facebook on your phone, it looks far more updated than Facebook on your laptop.
It's just for the on to go. Like you're going to the tube, you're anywhere else. You're always connected to Facebook, and it's faster. You don't want to go sit on the laptop like the long time ago.
Yeah.
You'd have to go back to the laptop and start this. And they were the beginning. They started in 2006, and they had many people using it. It was just amazing.
Yeah, if we're to go into some of the more statistics, so on here, this is eMarketer, sourced from 2019. Social media users by generation, so 90.4% of millennials are active on social media. This isn't just Facebook, this is social media.
All over.
90.4% of millennials. And then for Gen X, it's 77.5%. So almost 22% more people from, well, the millennial generation are on active.
What?
And then going even further, they claim 48.2% of baby boomers are active on social media. So just under 50%
Man,
of boomers are active on social
There's-
media, and over 90% of millennials are.
isn't there like, with that adding to that, it blows my mind every day. I look at like a celebrity. He has his dog on social media, and his dog has more followers than me.
Yeah.
He has like 1 million followers. I'm like,
It's the
"Your
exact
dog."
same thing on Twitter. People
Even with
set up like
babies, like
accounts
little
for
kids.
their
With little
pets.
kids, they have like 30 million followers or something. I'm like, who are you? What?
Yeah.
It's a dog, and his name is George or something, or like anything. Like it's just crazy, you know. You just see it, and it's like,
Went for a walk today. Was a good boy.
yeah,
Loved it.
Jackie, anything. It's like this dog. It's like it
Yeah.
has 30 million hits. It's just. But I want to know, like, moving off from like Facebook and all this, and like, like, what do you think about Facebook buying Instagram? Do you think it was, they bought it for $1 billion? So I feel like anyone who's in Instagram would be very happy today, living their lives. Like, I would be happy if you bought my company for $1 billion. I'd be living my
I
life.
bet you would. Yeah.
I'd be sitting on my boat, just living all around, you know.
What do I think of the
No,
move to
just-
buy Instagram?
Just like smashing in.
Of course, it was
Do you think it's
2014, I believe.
no,
2000s.
2012?
2012.
They bought. Facebook went in to sack all Instagram. They went in for the big dogs.
I think
They felt that there's competition. Do you think it was? What do you think? Do you think it was nice to have like go in, or do you think it was not? The
in
way?
my opinion, it was a power move, because Instagram was made by a small team of devs, not a huge studio like Facebook. And Instagram, as it started to go up on the right, I'm speaking as someone who doesn't even own Instagram, but just on the research
Understanding and seeing.
conducted, Instagram, it did things differently to Facebook, in that Facebook was more about putting up a post and having people engage. You could upload photos and
But
whatnot.
it wasn't the main
but
like.
That wasn't the driving force. It was to inform people of your life.
Like if you got a
and-
new job or you got married or
Precisely.
Whatever.
And with Instagram, it was more targeted for the audience.
yeah.
Facebook was kind of everyone.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say at the time they necessarily had a target market,
Yeah, of course.
but Instagram, they mainly targeted the younger people, again, the 16 to 24-year-olds. And they were very strategic in how they targeted,
Yeah.
and they tailored the app for that audience. And as a result, well, it grew exponentially because there was nothing else like it. The way of posting photos,
Just
just-
simple.
just doing that, it's
think- Yeah.
it's like keeping almost like a photographic diary of your life at that point. And I think it was a new thing for people, and it was a competitor for Facebook, and they just saw the opportunity there and bought it.
I think they
And doing that,
revolutionized
they
the
could
social media
take that
industry.
consumer base.
I think they revolutionized how people look at social media in different elements.
Right.
As we'll get into other elements of other apps did today, but like what they did Instagram now, changing the idea of just posting a picture and looking at it, even though it's not the best idea because sometimes it's a bit toxic for some people, just having pictures.
A bit toxic.
No, because as I'm gonna be looking at, like, people don't really care about your picture, and you won't find anyone putting a depressing picture on Instagram. Never.
God, no.
They
No.
always have, whether it's a guy who got to the gym and he changed his body, a guy who got an A, a guy who got a new car. No one will post like a depressing guy
No one's
dead
gonna
next to
take a
him.
selfie at their mum's funeral.
No,
and post
no,
on
no one
Instagram.
does that. You know, it's like it's either I graduated with a high honors or something
Yeah.
like that. But people really care about comments, likes. So sometimes it affects a lot of people, like going into like what they think of life. Oh, I only got 5 likes. I only got 20 likes. I got 6. It's a bit toxic, but we'll talk into that later. But like, it revolutionized how we think of from Facebook. Now we went to Instagram, which is a totally different platform. And they go into the same category, but like they just change it, and now they have what's it called? They have live streaming in it. They have stories. They have all
Yeah.
these elements. But leave you from Instagram and Twitter and the big four that we all really care about, and we forget about the new hype market of social media. We look
Yeah.
at like Vine, and now we have TikTok, which you really like.
I'll speak into TikTok later. It's quite a
It's massive. yeah.
revolution.
It changes the world. Like you look at you have the four means of communication, which are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which are like even now that Instagram is under Facebook, they have now you can video call people on Instagram. Not just sending pictures, you know. You have a messaging platform. You can message people. Like you just say like, oh, let's make a group. Let's talk on Instagram. Let's tag. Now there's a hashtag as well.
I mean, going into that, do you think the social media platforms, they're all at a race to compete with each other currently?
It's fast
they're all
race.
trying out new innovations.
It's a fast race.
But do you think they're all becoming too similar to each other?
I think they are.
Take Facebook, take LinkedIn, take Twitter, WhatsApp.
I think Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are very similar in the sense of communication. Because you can all put pictures.
You can live stream on Twitter,
Yeah.
you can live stream on Facebook. I don't know about Instagram.
No, Instagram you can also live stream. Not live stream as like just live stream as whatever Facebook is doing, but live stream in the sense of like your stories. You just anywhere you're like, oh hello, I'm here, and that's it.
Or rather, in 2019, going into 2020,
Yeah.
do you think each platform has a growing number of things that make them unique from one each other, or a shrinking number of items that make them unique from one
it's
another?
not about the thing, as you just said, like we're going into this race that everyone is seeing what the other one is doing. You can say they're spying on each other to see what's new, what's trending, what's Facebook doing, what's Instagram doing, even though they're under each other, but they're different ways of engagement with people. If you see like, I don't know, Instagram were the first people to do stories. And now stories became in Snapchat. It was in Snapchat, and then Instagram used it, and then Facebook, and then it became a thing that they put it on everything. And live stream, it became Facebook, Twitter, everyone starting to implement the same elements. I think that it's not being unique, but because they know these are the only platforms that are going to be challenging in the market.
Yeah.
So they're trying to adapt the same thing. And they know, like the guy in Twitter knows that a lot of people don't like using Facebook, and they'll have them here. And the same thing with Facebook, they know some people won't like Twitter, so they'll come to them. So they have to make it simple. So I think the uniqueness of something today is being very simple. And that's what's good about social media. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, they're easy to use. Anyone from the ages of 9 to 70 can use them.
I think that's a good point
It's
as well.
simple. You don't want it to be it should not be rocket science. That's like, I think the most easiest thing. Like the problem what social media platforms are facing today is if they change the whole database or changing how it looks or how it functions.
Yeah.
That's a problem Snapchat faced a year ago. They are changing how it looks and how it's function, or how the user, between the user and the platform itself. People don't like that. People don't really like change.
No.
It's maybe doing small changes, but changing, like simply. Facebook, maybe they did a nice change, which was they now have a market space where you can buy and sell things.
Yeah.
But that was something that, it's interesting. So in the local area, I can sell my bike for £50, or I can sell this cushion, or this is something that's really good in Facebook.
Yeah.
Instagram, it's the stories, it's getting to know the pictures, see what people are doing. It's becoming the same. It's still the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
But it's key to be simple, and that's why I think whoever gets into it and keeps it simple is going to last.
Do you think they do enough to differentiate from one another, though, each platform?
Well, you see Facebook and Instagram, they're on the same owner,
Yeah.
but you can't
But
really...
if you take LinkedIn,
when you see
Twitter,
LinkedIn,
Snapchat, and Facebook,
when you
just
look
those
at-
four, for example.
well, I think you can't say that they challenge as much. Like when you looked at LinkedIn is a total, it has a different like interface, and it's looking at different things. You're trying to find a job, so it's not the same as Facebook or Twitter. It is a social media platform in sense,
Yeah.
but it is looking at a different element, and it's in different engagements, so it doesn't really matter of having live stream and all this, but it's more focused on like, okay, how am I gonna put my CV on it? How are companies looking at it?
Yeah.
So it's a different way of engagement. You have different clientele you're looking at. Facebook, you're the world. Twitter, the world. LinkedIn is also the world, but it's only considered to companies, startups, trying to find people for jobs. It's nothing to do with the idea of you can have games on LinkedIn. No, it's like Facebook. It's all like
Yeah.
it merges
I see
to
where
be.
you're coming from.
You can say Facebook is more of a family-based thing. Like if you look at family, it's more of a Facebook thing. You'll find parents and grandparents having Facebook, and it's more. Twitter, you can say the same. Instagram, it's maybe a more millennial thing. It's more like you won't find a lot of big celebrity even having Instagram. Like recently, Jennifer Aniston, she just made, she broke the internet just having an Instagram. She made around 19 million followers in less than 24 hours.
That's got to set a new record, surely.
Yeah, it did.
It did, yeah.
She broke the
I'm not
records.
surprised.
But like, I'm just saying, like Instagram is just more of a millennial thing. People aren't really used. If I give my grandma Instagram, she wouldn't be able to use it. Never. And say it's the way of communication. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are similar in that they try and connect people. It's more of a like Twitter and Facebook and WhatsApp are more family based.
Yeah.
WhatsApp is something everyone uses because it's just simpler texting.
Yeah.
And it's free texting. You don't want to send SMSs and cost a lot of money, you know. And WhatsApp, it's a global thing, so it can anywhere. And you will find WhatsApp like very downloadable, like the top charts of everywhere in downloads and stuff. So it's very interesting. But
if we were to bring it back then and kind of look
sorry.
onto the statistics
yeah,
of just social media in general. So can you take a guess at the average amount of time that consumers spend each day on social networks?
I could say maybe 4 hours to 8 hours.
The average time quoted from Global Web Index in 2018, consumers spend an average of 2 hours and 22 minutes a day.
That's a lot.
Just browsing the internet on on socials.
I thought it was 4 hours.
I mean, for some it probably would be, because again, it's an average. For some people they'll spend 4 to 6. Some people spend half an hour.
Depends,
to an hour.
like how free you are.
Yeah, it does as well.
Because there's different platforms. Like you look at just YouTube as well, and other like YouTube, you just recommend it for you. Why not?
I know some people that spend about 12 hours a day on YouTube.
Tutorials, whatever.
It's all about finding that entertainment.
You find something that engages with you.
Yeah. Then to go on to the power of marketing businesses on social media.
Oh, we have to look at that. It's a crazy world.
So 73% of marketers believe social media marketing has been somewhat or very effective for their company.
Do you agree with this? Do you think? Like I agree with it. I see them all over.
I would agree that it's an amazing way to market your company because it's free marketing. All you have to do is keep
posting stuff.
If you create a group or a page on, say, Facebook or LinkedIn, and it's to represent your company, as soon as you start getting a following from that, whether it be your friends or family, it doesn't even have to be consumers. As soon as you start getting a following from that, and you start posting, and those posts get shared, then people come back to you.
Engagement will keep going, and you'll find people like, I have the society on campus, and you see people sending you messages every once in a while that you don't expect, and it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But
like I said, that 73% of marketers think it's somewhat or very effective for business. And then in terms of customers that are actually actively using social media
to buy stuff,
it's 54% of people on social media are using it to research products and buy products.
Really?
54% of people just browsing it. Take Facebook Marketplace in that regard, for example. It's insane the power that these social medias have over consumers. And like I talked about a moment ago, it's free marketing. You don't get it better than that. You just don't.
Do you think this is like the best strategy to smash your company over? Like,
honestly, I would say it likely is, because as well then customers can leave reviews on it too. And going on to that, the impact of a positive customer experience, 71% of customers who have had a positive experience with Facebook or any kind of brand on social media are not only likely to go back, but to recommend it to other people as well. 71% of people that have had a positive experience.
Do you think like
that reach is insane?
Do you think if like we would start a company today?
That's from Forbes as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Do you think if we would start a company today, it would be better not to have like a warehouse, a factory or whatever, and just launch on Facebook and say like, our company is XYZ, we sell these products and we do this, and we just literally just sell our stuff on Facebook?
Well, I mean, you're going to need a warehouse or something when you hit that certain point of growth.
Depends your business, like.
But
like
that's for storage.
Like some people, like I know people have bakeries which they just sell online, which is like, we're gonna.
My sister actually has an online bakery.
Really?
Yeah.
And how's that doing?
It's called Kingdom Cupcakes. Shameless plug. She makes cakes and bakes everything on there. Based in Scotland. She caters for parties, weddings, even funerals. She caters for all of it. And she has a website that you can
Just go on to.
you can arrange a quota for. So she has set prices for each individual product on there, whether it be a brownie, a cake, or whatever. Amazing like category of stuff. She's got about 86 products on there, I think it is, just bakery items. And you request a quota for, say, I want 30 carrot cakes with 24 rice crispy cake things on top of all this stuff, and she'll go back to them with a quota. This will be X amount of money, and it can be delivered by next Thursday. Yeah. Good. And if customer goes, yeah, good. Perfect. That's a sale.
Does she think that that's important, like having that for her business?
All her marketing is done on Facebook and Instagram.
Really?
It's incredible.
And do you deliver
it's really taking off now as well.
And do you deliver the product?
No, like I said, she's based in Scotland. So
it'd be great to see Alex delivering some cupcakes.
You think I could be a delivery man with cupcakes in my bag? Maybe I could pull it off, who knows.
A magic Santa bag, having some cupcakes, just sending it over.
Yeah, that could work. But no, she only uses Facebook and LinkedIn for her marketing.
Twitter
No, it's just those two. It's just how she brands. And she started, I believe, it was a couple of years ago, it might have been 2016 or 17, but it's in 2019 that it's just exponentially exploded. She's gotten to a point where she's now having to deny clients because she's got too many orders coming in at once.
Let's start a bakery.
Let's start a bakery. Yeah.
I think that's what we'll do if you fail university.
Exactly. And then going on to influencers on social media.
That's crazy. That's
the concept of helping brands build trust. So this statistic is from 4 Communications, 2018. 49% of consumers depend on influencer recommendations for their products. Actively depend on it. And so they won't go out and do the research alone. If an influencer is buying a certain type of protein, they buy that protein. You know, it's that kind of stuff.
Oh, and having that influencer stuff, like just even if I start a company doing swimming suits or just selling cups of coffee or
exactly.
whatever,
if you were wearing swimming suits and targeting an audience, people would depend on that. I'm a guy who has
like 16 million followers. I think people will be like, "Oh wow, look at him, he's wearing this."
That's something that's speedos.
That's what people I think really like these days as well. Like seeing the big celebrities wearing this or holding this cup or holding this Mac or eating at a certain restaurant. Oh look. Even if they never heard of the restaurant, they go like, "Oh, look, he's
David Beckham eats there.
No, let's go. Oh, and then it might be trash, you know, but it just because you just saw the guy there and like, wow.
Exactly.
And influencers are really interesting. Do you think that they are a key part of when it comes to branding this thing? Do you think it's like, would you think it's important to have an influencer any time in your business? Like
I don't think all companies should have an influencer. But I do think that influencers will bring you a new demographic for a company. If you're targeting, like I said earlier, like the middle age kind of target audience of say 32 to 48, and then they get on to advertise a product, an influencer who has an audience of 18 to 21-year-olds, immediately you've now captured 2 markets.
Yeah.
Or 2 audiences, rather.
Which were not already there in your company, which is...
No, exactly. And that's why I think they are vital. Maybe not all companies should use them. Like, I doubt if my sister used a YouTube influencer or Instagram influencer for her cupcakes.
Bring Ninja from Fortnite.
Exactly. If my sister had Ninja eat one of her cupcakes, maybe it would. Maybe it would take the business off even more. It's very specific to each brand, I'd argue.
It depends, yeah. But they're also too expensive, and some of them are very arrogant. They might be like, no, we need...
This sounds like it's coming from a personal story.
No, but like I just feel like it'd be arrogant just due to followers or something. They might be like, we want 50,000 pounds to be on your channel, or we need this.
You mean, yeah.
The influencer, like he'd be arrogant and be like, because like I'm a very busy person.
10 grand a minute.
10 grand, yeah, please, like today, payday tonight, yeah? I need £1 million. Like
I want half now. The other half after.
Yeah, sometimes they question. I'm like, you just made some followers. You might have even bought some of your followers, you know. This is something that's also on social media, which is really agonizing to many people. Some people think, oh, look at him, he has all these followers, but like in the end, you might have bought them for £5 or £10, like 20,000 followers, and you're just like.
Exactly. So to go on again, onto an Instagram statistic here. So, daily active Instagram stories users was in 2017 150 million. So 150 million people putting a story on daily in 2017. Crazy. In 2019, that figure went from 150 million to 500 million.
That's insane.
So over a 200% increase.
That's insane.
In just engagement on the platform in around 2 years.
No, that's insane.
So to average that growth, that's 100% year-on-year increase in engagement.
Social media, it's a great.
The way it's kind of taking over people's lives and dominating is, it's something to keep monitoring, and I think that is why the government are getting more invested in monitoring it.
In some countries, they monitor it, and like you might be sent to jail if you put a certain post. Especially
in China.
Oh, and
Korea.
Yeah. Some places, North Korea.
Let's not get into that. And
I know, like I want to go like just off from. I just said a statistic about active users. We look at even Twitter, like because I know you're an enthusiast on Twitter. In 2014,
plug Twitter for an hour.
In 2014, we had 500 million tweets a day. 500 million tweets a day.
A
day. I'm being like, it's crazy. In the World Cup in 2010, they had 3,283 tweets per second. Do you know what that means? Per second. So as if like every second someone's, because it's a worldwide thing, you know. Hello, I'm doing this. I'm George doing that.
3,000 tweets a second.
Yes.
So in the time you told me that stat, that's about 15,000 to 21,000.
Because you're not in a closed environment. It's for the whole world. Your zone right now might be it's night today here, but in Australia it's in the morning, and in Japan it's another time zone. So that's another thing. So you have to also understand, you're not an exclusive thing. Twitter isn't just for like only the rich people or the poor people or whatever. No, it's for everyone. Anyone who has internet and understands what Twitter is. Or if they don't understand it, they just want to write any crap on it. They're just like, hello, my name is George.
Like I talked about earlier, the trash posting, whatever.
Yeah, or like, or bullying people online or doing something.
Yeah, that's another topic to go into as
well.
Yeah,
it goes into this loopholes and just like.
Yeah.
Just imagine how people like, we're just saying like, I'm saying 500 million tweets a day. So say like how much engagement that is every single day. Imagine like how people are connected to this. You're looking at a mobile that we're all staring at every day. We're just literally staring at our phones every day. Oh, look at this, look at this. It's crazy.
It is a revolutionary world.
It's a revolutionary world.
The last statistic I have on these forms of social media is, again, it goes back to what I was saying. I think the reason the growth is also
good.
Well, expanded is because of the access to mobile phones of everyone. 91% of all social media users access the social channels via mobile.
That's mind blowing.
91%.
So see how connected we are to our phones, and we're attached to such thing as called a mobile phone.
It's like what Elon Musk said. We're already becoming cyborgs in the prospect that the mobile phone is an extension of the human at this point.
It's crazy. Like we've just been. There's a relationship between us and the phone. It became. We can't leave. Like some people can't go to the bathroom without their phones. It's like.
Yeah.
I have to have this phone. Listen to it. Download the apps. It became this. You can email. Everything can come onto the phone. Like everything. You can email, listen to songs. You can watch YouTube. You can whatever. Look at the App Store and download Netflix. There's so much you can do.
Netflixing while on the loo. All that good stuff.
People are creative. You don't know these days. But after all this, like those are like the more four. Maybe we look at the main 4 platforms we look at. But there's also some creative elements of social media, like Vine and TikTok and what you.
Well, this is the thing. TikTok is kind of replacing Vine, I would argue, at this point.
Do you know something funny before you go on? I was just looking around earlier. Do you know that the person who made Vine was Twitter?
Twitter made Vine? Really?
They made Twitter made Vine, But Vine shut down like a year ago or something.
It was 2016, 17,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Twitter were the one who made Vine, and then
I
they
did
just
not
left
know
it. They wanted to branch out and have something extra.
Right.
It just fascinated. I was like, wow.
That's really... I did not know that.
I just wanted to bring that in. It was just very interesting. I was like, really? Well, you were just doing this thing and now you're into this? I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you
Okay.
doing such things?
Well, going on from Vine,
Yeah, TikTok.
and
a
my
very-
theory of TikTok replacing Vine. So to give you a bit of history onto it, because TikTok's quite...
It's
Everyone
exploding.
knows it, and people either hate it or love it. There's no in between. I would probably say I hate it, but I'm addicted to it.
You
I
use
hate
it. Do
it.
you use TikTok?
Yeah, shamelessly.
No, I've never used
I
it.
use
I
it
don't
and
understand.
hate it because it's completely...
Useless.
The stuff on there you see is just... It just makes
Cringy?
you cringe, but I crave it. I'm like, oh, that video is just... What was the point of
But
that?
how did you hear
Next
about?
one.
How did you hear about TikTok? Like for me, it was just a year ago, but like it's like. how
I
is this
heard
thing
about
exploding?
TikTok through the Google Play Store,
Really?
and I'll go on to why that's how most people have heard about it as well. So to give you a bit of history on TikTok, currently, TikTok has 500 million active users worldwide. As of 2019, it's got 500 million users, and that's important to remember.
Is that? And I assume that's still growing.
So 500 million users worldwide in 2019.
And that's growing, I guess.
It's still growing.
Yeah.
150 million of those, China alone. However, TikTok is also the main markets that it is used in is China, Cambodia,
China?
Japan, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand.
I did not expect one of those countries.
It's not a very westernized app.
Really, I thought it was going to be something like you're going to say the US, Canada,
That's what everyone expects.
England, France, something
So
there.
the reason that statistic, it's at 500 million users actively today.
Wow.
The app launched 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
So the app has been out for 3 years.
So is that 3 years ago before 2019?
Yeah, the app launched in 2016.
Okay.
The reason that's significant is because Instagram took 6 years to hit 500 million users. TikTok did it in 3.
See how silly.
Facebook took 4 years
Yeah.
to reach 500 million users.
And
TikTok did it in 3.
yeah, see how silly humans are? We are attracted to silly things.
TikTok, in the first quarter of 2019, so January to March, was the 3rd most downloaded app on the App Store and the Google Play Store, with
Both stores.
188 million downloads,
They
which
got-
grew 70% from the first quarter of 2018.
They got a lot of money then.
They've got a lot of money. So, of those 188 million users, 88 million of them, so almost half, from India alone.
That makes me laugh.
From the US, of those 188 million, 13.2 million.
It's very small, 13 million.
It's
Nothing too big, just 13 million.
Well, that's less than 10%.
It's like a black dot in the big spectrum. Like you see
Exactly.
188 and it's like
That's
30
less
million.
than 10% of the users.
That's-
When it was the 3rd most downloaded app earlier
And
this
like-
year,
and-
less than 10% of that was the US.
Yeah.
However, it did run into its problems. So in the second quarter of 2019, the Indian government pressured Apple to remove it from the App Store.
Yeah.
And that's because there was basically safety concerns over the children that post on it.
Why? What were they posting?
So there were concerns that the children, or rather the target market, it was mainly children in India that were posting on the app. The concern was that their security and safety was being compromised. However, it did get banned in India as a result of that, yet the company that created TikTok, I believe they're called Dance Byte, they appealed and basically got the app back into India. However, of those 88 million that joined on, 15 million of those customers were lost.
15 million?
15 million of the 88 million of those customers
Nothing
were
too
lost as a
big.
result.
Nothing too big.
And the thing is, as well, it is one of the 5 most downloaded apps worldwide currently. In January, it crossed a total of 1 billion downloads.
So do you think, like you said, 15 million that ran
So
away?
500 million users,
Yeah.
billion downloads.
You said that there were 15 million that ran away.
Ran away. They fled.
They fled the
Yeah.
country. Do you think that those 15 million would come back easily?
Yeah, I
Would it
do.
just be
Because
like-
I think with the way that it's growing at the moment, it can garner any audience.
Or do you think like it might, maybe this might be a hype market for TikTok, and we say in the next year or two it goes bust? The same thing would happen
I
with
do
Vine.
not think TikTok is going to
Like
go
what
bust.
happened? What happened with Vine, and now it's
This
TikTok.
is the thing. I think TikTok will become the new Vine.
And maybe
So-
something else comes over TikTok, and it's called Xbox One Alone something. You don't know what it's called. You know it might be called
I mean, you can't predict there to be a new entry to the market, but there
ABCY
always is.
or anything.
There always is new entries.
Xbox One
But for now, I think TikTok is pretty uncompeted.
Uncompeted.
So as I said, TikTok is the most downloaded app on the Apple and Google Play Store as of the first quarter of 2019. So it was the third most on all platforms, but it is in the first quarter, it was the most downloaded app. It overtook YouTube. YouTube was at 26 million downloads, second highest. TikTok, 33 million downloads.
I think because now YouTube became like an essential part of the phone. Like most phones now have YouTube because
Yeah.
Google bought YouTube, so it's like essential.
Yeah.
But like, and I just wanted to ask, like, just because I'm not a very TikTok-y person,
You don't TikToks.
I don't do TikToks or TikTok or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
I don't do what they do. So like, how long is like, I know like the basics, like, yeah, you just do a video. Is it
You
just a
literally-
30-second video, a
So-
30-minute video? I see people doing crazy dances. That's what I see. People just doing,
All it is, a video of any length, I believe 20 seconds is the max.
oh, you
I
can't
could
go
be
like
wrong on
6
that.
hours.
No, I believe 20 seconds is the max, and you can either play a song, and then
Sing to
the
it?
people recording themselves or other people will do something over the song, either lip sync it, they'll dance to it, they'll
There was-
do like a prank or something while the song's playing. And then some people, you can play comedy sketches on there, and as I say, you can either lip sync a comedy sketch, you can act it out while like it's being narrated over the background.
And it's free, huh?
Yeah, it's all free, but that is all TikTok is. It's just those videos. Once the video finishes, auto plays the next one.
There was a game, there's an app, the same thing, I can't remember, but I don't know if it was the same. I don't know if it was something only in Egypt or around the Middle East or something around. It's called Dub Smash.
Dub Smash. I've heard of Dub Smash. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. Like Dub Smash was just like an app where
Yeah.
you do sketches and stuff like 30 seconds.
Yeah. No,
But-
I
but
get
that
you.
died.
I remember using it a few years ago.
Yeah, but that died.
To go on further into TikTok then. So for 5 quarters, so a
5
year and a quarter, TikTok has been the most downloaded app on Apple's App Store.
More than Facebook, Instagram,
The highest downloaded app for a year and a quarter.
year and the course.
Yeah. It is
Very
the
weird
most,
number.
it's more popular among iPhone users than Android users currently. And it is the 3rd most downloaded app on Google Play,
Google.
only being surpassed by Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp.
Very interesting.
Now, going on to the target market of TikTok, 41% of users are aged between 16 and 24. So as I say, it's that target audience, 41%, 16 to 24. Under 18s is the main target audience here, and ByteDance, being the company that created TikTok, the way this kind of growth has been measured or explained is because ByteDance understood the target audience from the beginning, realized the habits and preferences of the age group, and evolved their strategy towards that. So going on from that again, 56% of users male, 44 are female, and post-launch, when it initially launched, had more females come on than males, and then over time it just kind of got overtaken. An average of 52 minutes a day are spent on this app.
52 minutes a day?
Yes.
That's not too much. 52
And
minutes.
in less than 18 months, the number of adults going on TikTok, so in a year and a half, the number of adults on TikTok grew by 550%.
Adults meaning 18 plus
Yeah. So it went from 2.6 million adults in
to
October.
550.
No, it went from 2.6 million adults using the app in October 2016 to 15 million adults in March 2019. So more adults are getting on the app as well, which it just kind of shows how much this is really actually going to compete with the other social medias.
And how stupid we are as humans.
Exactly.
We focus on something else.
And I think that's a pretty good place to wrap this up, to be honest with you.
That was great. It was nice talking about some social media.
Some relevant news.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was nice talking about some other elements.
No, it's been good.
It's been good.
And on that, I think that's time to close it out.
Thank you very much. It was nice.
Until the next one.
Until the next one.